We are back. It's bold predictions time at Lettermen Row. It's score predictions time at Lettermen Row, and it's Mick Walker time over at Lettermen Row. A little hoarse today, so I might have to shoulder the load here for the Lettermen Row crew, but that's all right. Mick Walker's here to give some bold predictions. I'm here to give some bold predictions. We're going to do this in pretty rapid order. Mick, how you doing, man? And give me your first bold prediction after you tell the world how Mick Walker's happening in Mick Walker's world.
Hey Spencer, we're busy. We have Ohio State flip four-star defensive back Jay Timmons from Florida State. So Letterman has got complete coverage of that. $1 for your first 7 days. You can learn all about Jay Timmons, the son of former Pittsburgh Steeler Lawrence Timmons. So obviously he comes from great bloodlines, great people as well. But as for my first bold prediction, I'm going to go with nice simple one, nice easy one that we've all been thinking. Julian Sain. I know the weather's kind of calmed down, so I'm going to go Julian Sain, 400 yards passing against the Boilermakers, kind of just bolster the Heisman campaign against up in West Lafayette.
Okay, well, I do have to say now that everybody's heard your voice, we had a saying in college, because I went to Ohio University. I don't know if everybody knows that. We had a saying in college that was just Athens happens, and it's like, oh, something crazy happened on Court Street. Well, Athens happens. Mick's first trip to Athens with multiple former Bobcats ended with him having his voice completely shocked out of his system because we went and watched Ohio and Miami on Tuesday night. So, Mick, your first ever Athens happens moment. Welcome to the crew, my friend. My first bold prediction goes a little bit in lines of yours. I think Brandon Ennis is going to catch a touchdown in this game, which is bold because he only has 2 career touchdowns. But guess what, Mick? One of them came in West Lafayette. His first career touchdown was a long touchdown pass from Devin Brown in the 2023 Ohio State Purdue game. That game was not close. It was decided in the fourth quarter. And so Ohio State was having the second team offense run plays. And Brandon Ennis, then a true freshman wide receiver, ran a slot fade and made a Purdue defensive back look completely stupid and scored a long touchdown and celebrated in kind. And so I think this place has some Brandon Ennis mojo to it. And so I'm going to take Brandon Ennis to score a touchdown in this game. I had that as one of my final predictions last week. It didn't come true, although he had a really nice game against Penn State. His production is up the last 2 games. In the last couple games, he has 7 catches, almost 80 yards receiving. Last week, 4 catches, 41 yards. He had a 29-yard reception. He's getting more involved in the offense. As Julian Sain is seeing the field better, he's seeing Brandon Ennis better. I think that's going to continue on Saturday. I'm going to go with Brandon Ennis having a touchdown in this game.
I love that one. Love a good BI bold prediction. And who could not just love his touchdown last time he was in West Lafayette? The other guy that I think Ohio State fans can't help but love is Jermaine Matthews, and I've wrote about him a good bit today with this Timmons stuff. So he's just in my head, and I want to say that Jermaine Matthews is not only going to pick off Ryan Brown on Saturday, I think he's picking it off and take it to the painted end zone where Berm and I will be standing for some cool pictures. But Jermaine Matthews pick 6 is my second bold prediction for this show.
I think it's actually more bold that you predicted that you guys are going to be in the correct end zone, because it seems like every once in a while you get those games that there's a game every once in a while where you'll ask Berman, you both, like after the game, like, oh, like, did you get any good photos? It's like, no, every touchdown went away from me. I don't know how this happened. And it's like, well, that's the way it goes sometimes. And I'm not trying to put it on you guys and say that it's going to be one of those weird games that all the action goes away from you, but we haven't had one of those yet because you guys are so good at your jobs. And now, so I think it's pretty bold of you to just assume that a pick 6 is going to go to the end zone that you're standing in. I respect.
Luckily, we got the 2 of us. We have the 2 of us now, so typically one of us is always in the end zone or both sides of the end zone or the sideline. So we typically get some good pictures. But you're right, that probably is the boldest part of it all.
All right, Nick, I'm going to go to my second bold prediction. Look, man, I do this every week. I'm just going to put the clown paint on, the gif of the clown putting the paint on. I guess I'm going to do it again this week because I look at the Purdue game log, and this is like big, dumb football guy not thinking about like anything other than just like, what's Purdue bad at? And the 3 teams that have had the most success running the ball against Purdue this year are Notre Dame, Illinois, and Michigan. What do those 3 have in common, Mick? They're the 3 best offenses Purdue has faced this year, with respect to USC, which also had a really nice day on the ground against the Boilermakers, had 178 yards and 2 touchdowns. Notre Dame had 254 and 5 touchdowns on the ground. Illinois had 117 rushing yards, but 3 touchdowns on the ground. And then Michigan had 253 and 3 touchdowns on the ground. Most of that came from a Jordan Marshall hero game, which if Michigan didn't have Jordan Marshall, they would have lost to Purdue last week. That's a bona fide fact. Ohio State is going to run wild in this game. I think this is the game. I think next week against UCLA, night game at the Horseshoe, you'll see some fireworks from the Buckeyes. You'll see some big things from Julian Sand in the passing attack. I think the week after against Rutgers pass defense is NSFW horrendous. Like, it is so bad. It should be on Adult Swim at midnight. It's so bad. I think those are the 2 games that you're going to see the bolstered stats for the passing game. I think this is a game where you're going to see the Buckeyes establish some things on the ground. Give James Peoples, see if that momentum can carry over. Isaiah West, see what he can do. Give Bo Jackson some more, leeway to kind of run wild with this. Start to put something on the field together in the run game. I think the Buckeyes are going to run for over 200 yards in this game. I just think this is a run-first game. I think this might be, just depending on the weather and everything, this might be a run the ball and get out of West Lafayette kind of game rather than a 56-0 kind of game. And so I'm just going to go ahead and say Ohio State's finally going to do what I've been predicting them to do most of the year, and that's run for 200 yards. Will there be one guy who does a bulk of that? Probably not. They're so set on keeping these guys fresh all the way through, and maybe they'll settle on a couple of them when we get to December and January. But for now, I think that it's going to be a group effort, and the Buckeyes are going to run for 200 yards.
You do love your rushing bull predictions, and I got a feeling that you might get this one right this week. But one of these times it will happen for you.
Nick, they haven't run for 200 yards in a game since the Ohio game and the Grambling game. They had 274 on the ground against Grambling. They had 225 against Ohio. They have not run for more than 200 yards in a game in Big Ten play. Last week was their high in Big Ten play, 164. So me saying that they're going to top that by 36 yards and get over 200 yards is probably the boldest thing I could say right now.
I love that one. So I've said a couple. Spencer said one right now that are pretty bold. I think we're getting a little hot here as we get through what could be a kind of boring November with some of these games coming up. But I'm going to go with my hottest one. At least I think this is the hottest one of them all because I know the temperature, or I know that the expected weather conditions in West Lafayette, whether that's what you want to read on the weather.com or that's what you want to listen to from Austin Ward, who believes it's going to be awful as it always is, and he's probably got a case for it. But the last time Ohio State hit a 50-yard field goal, I believe, was on the road. My score prediction involves a field goal. So if we're going to say it, why don't we just go ahead and make it big and go Jaden Fielding, 50-plus yard field goal inside of Ross-Ade Stadium. That's my third and final bowl prediction.
I predicted this already once this year. I think it was the Illinois game.
Correct.
And guess what didn't happen?
The field goal.
What are we doing? Come on, Nick. Come on. That's so bold. Okay. You've gone bold.
If this happens, though, we will find Mr. Fielding after the game, and I will let him know what Spencer said right here in this episode, just so he has the extra fuel to the fire, which I know he desires.
All right, Mick. I'm actually going to be pretty milquetoast here. One of the best words in the English language. I don't know if you know this. Purdue has fumbled the football 7 times in the last 5 games. The ball security issues for the Boilermakers leave plenty to be desired. They've also thrown 4 interceptions in that span. They've got 10 interceptions thrown this year, 7 fumbles this year. All 7 of their fumbles have come in the last 5 games. They fumbled last week at Michigan. They fumbled twice against Northwestern. They turned it over 4 times against Minnesota. This is an offense that likes to play football giveaway day when they get the opportunity to. And this is a defense that is fast, physical, attacking, aggressive. It's the hardest hitting and best defense Purdue will see all season. It is the most disciplined defense Purdue will see all season. And it is the best defense Purdue will see all season. That means Purdue's going to turn the football over. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times in this game. I don't see a way that you don't create turnovers against this Purdue offense. They fumble it too much. They fumble it a lot. They turn the football over by way of interceptions. It doesn't really matter if it's Ryan Brown, if it's Malachi Singleton. They just seem to like giving the football to the opponents. Ryan Brown has 9 touchdowns, 7 picks this year. Malachi Singleton has 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions this season. The funniest part of this entire thing is Devin Mockabee, who's out for the season and is a running back, has the other interception on this team. It's not a third-string quarterback. It's a running back who's also thrown an interception. So if you throw passes for Purdue this year, you have thrown an interception. They're going to throw in a couple interceptions against Ohio State. They're going to cough the football up at least a couple times. I think Ohio State's going to cause 4 turnovers in this game. And mostly also, Mick, because the Buckeyes just haven't really created a lot of turnovers. They created 3 against Illinois. They had an interception in each of the last 2 games, but it's not like they're just, going nuts with these turnovers. I think this is a good chance to get back on the right foot with turnovers. Mick, speaking of turnovers, Ohio State loves to create turnovers through this college football season, even though they haven't been doing it that much. The college football season is in full swing. The Modelo Recruiter is back in action, looking to reward full-time fans who give their all for their team. If you're listening to this, congratulations. You've been recruited. I believe you're a 5-star if you're listening to this. And it's time for an ice cold reward for being a 5-star. Modelo is the perfect reward for your fandom and the official beer sponsor of the college football playoff. Buckeyes fans, you deserve a Modelo. We're getting ready to make some picks, Mick. And you know what that means, Mick. All picks, obviously, very clearly, courtesy of our friends over at BetMGM. It's time to lock in those Saturday showdowns. Take your excitement to the next level with a Parlay Boost token from BetMGM. Log into your BetMGM account and receive your token. Then add any college football parlay to your bet slip and apply the token. Just make sure to bet up to the minimum stake odds and legs specified in the token. If your boosted parlay hits, you'll score an even bigger payout. Claim your Parlay Boost token and make this season unforgettable. BetMGM. Make it legendary. See BetMGM for terms, 21 and over only. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369 in New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona. 1-800-327-5050 in Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 in Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are not withdrawable bonus bets expire in 7 days in partnership with the Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Mick, it's time. Score prediction. Ohio State, Purdue, feel the excitement. West Lafayette, clouds, rain, sleet, snow, whatever you want to say. Ohio State will play at Purdue on Saturday as a 29.5-point favorite. Who you got?
I've got Ohio State winning by the margin of 38-6, I believe I put in our group chat. And full disclosure here, I did not talk to Berm about this pick. I know some of you guys consume our show and Berm and Austin's show. This was completely separate of each other, and we're off by a couple points, but I'm going 38-6.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, thank you guys if you consume both shows as well. Thank you.
I'm going 42-3.
Okay.
I just think that I think it is what it is. I think Barry Odom's team plays really hard. It is what it is, though, Mick. Ohio State's a 29.5-point favorite. We both have a cover. The Buckeyes have covered in every game except for one since the beginning of the college football playoff last year. They've covered all 7 of the 8 games this year. They pushed against Ohio. They were a 28-point favorite and won by 28. So they pushed against Ohio, and they've covered the 4 college football playoff games last year. They've covered the other 7 this year. I don't see how Purdue is going to be the one to blow their cover. You get it? Against Ohio State.
Team?
Yeah, I mean, good teams win, great teams cover. You're absolutely right, partner. So the total is at 47.5. I actually have the under in that. 38-6. You also have the under in that. So, no. Yeah. Yes. You have the under in that too. So, we've got Ohio State to cover and the under. That's a pretty safe bet here nowadays for the Buckeyes and for the Boilermakers. Their offense has been pretty bad. Anything else, Mick, before we get out of here?
No, that's all. I love my Friday shows here to have a little bit of Spencer's card. I heard him planning it out this week. So any other picks Spence has, let's end it on that.
Yeah, I got South Florida courtesy of our friends over at BetMGM minus 13.5. It's now at 14 at time of recording. So if if it gets back down to 13.5, I like them with the 2 touchdowns. I mean, we're sponsored by a gambling company. I like to bet on college football. I don't bet on Ohio State, full disclosure, or any game I cover. I'm curious about the Indiana-Penn State game. Indiana puts teams in an absolute blender when they smell blood in the water. So I've taken the liberty of doing the alt spreads. I think that if Indiana wins this game, Indiana is going to win by a lot. And so if you think Indiana is going to win by 3 scores, go find that minus 20.5 over on BetMGM, and you can find an alt spread. You can get Indiana minus 18.5 at plus 125. So that's an option. But I'm not going to tell you to go do that. I did that because I do think Indiana is just going to hammer Penn State. Look, when we saw Penn State quit last week, Penn State was done. Like when it started to get out of hand, Penn State was done. That triple pitch play, flea flicker thing that never had a chance, that was we might as well try this. And it didn't work. So that's where my mind's at with that game. So I've taken in a couple of Indiana alt lines just because I think that game could get out of hand. And if you agree, then you can kind of not play with the numbers. Obviously, these are things that the sports books give you. The other one that I just absolutely love this week, I love Eastern Michigan minus the 2.5. They're 2-7 on the year. Not really a spot that a lot of people are going to be looking at. Bowling Green, I think, is 3-6. They've been horrendous in MAC play and even worse on the road in MAC play. They just fired a couple of their offensive coaches. I don't know where that team is right now under Eddie George. I like Eddie George as a coach, but this is an uphill climb for him in the first year in the MAC. Chris Creighton's team always plays well and always plays hard, and I don't know if we're going to be able to say the same in a very, very, very cold Ypsilanti on Saturday. So I'm going to go ahead and take EMU minus the 2.5. And then West Virginia minus 6.5. That's might be my lock of the week. I think Colorado's bad, and I think they're kind of not having a good time, kind of giving up a little bit. So I'm going to take West Virginia at home against Colorado. Dion in Colorado minus the 6.5. That's my card.
I love it. Chris Creighton's got a heck of a beard too. I don't think he uses the Dollar Shave Club ad, but anybody that
did you see a beard or a beard?
A beard. I don't know if he handles beer. I've just seen him at summer camps, and I don't think he's drinking at that time. So whenever we see him, he has a great beard when he comes out to Ohio State for camps.
Yeah,
I appreciate that guy. Also, I appreciate the brand that you got on your shirt there, Spencer. He's going to be wearing that on Saturday, I assume, folks. So make sure you get your own so you can wear them on Saturdays.
Yeah, they're pretty nice. It's Rowback, RHOBACK.com. Use the code Lettermen20, LETTERMEN20 for 20% off your first purchase over at Rowback.com, RHOBACK.com. Mick, it's been fun. It's been great. If Chris Creighton is drinking a beer, I hope it's a Modelo, an ice-cold Modelo. He deserves a reward, just like you Ohio State fans. Go get your Modelo today. Head over to the BetMGM Sportsbook. It's a great time to be a college football fan. This is going to be a really good week of college football. I'm excited. I think Ohio State is going to completely decimate Purdue on the road, and Mick does as well. This has been a prediction show at Lettermen Row. We did them in the bold variety, and we did them in the score variety. And if you want anything else, just go to lettermenrow.com. We do it 365 days a year over there. Mick and Berm and Alex Gleitman are doing it on the recruiting side. Austin Ward and I have the team stuff covered. There's national coverage from On3 everywhere you look on the Lettermen Row website. So go head over there today. Get your coverage. $1 for your first 7 days. For Mick Walker, I'm just Spencer Holbrook. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys over in West Lafayette on Saturday for Ohio State and Purdue, and we'll see you over at LettermenRow.com.